Shambho Mahadev Mahadev Mahadev. Om Shanti. There is nothing called birth or death. As per the great principles, brought by the great men to us, it's a continuous process of consciousness. When you are in the physical world and is able to and are able to see things through your materialistic eye, we call it as living and life. When that physical body and the physical existence, what we call, is vanished to another form and shape of consciousness, we called it as a death. The birth is also like that. It's a different dimension of principle that is being brought into this universe to facilitate the materialistic eyes to visualize in a particular form and shape or a particular vibrational frequency. But it is necessary for a physical body to be retained by the consciousness, is why even the great men like Lord Krishna and all have taken their forms and shapes, which is called as incarnations, because for the purpose of the awareness of the present being in the material world to execute certain prarabdha and sancheta and agami karmas, the consciousness and awareness of the physical body is necessary. The consciousness is aware of the physical existence at a particular time in a different form in order to perform certain duties. The physical body is necessary. It is not that without this physical body certain karmas cannot be executed, but the karmas that are sancheta and prarabdha and agami karmas which are to be executed needs a physical body, is why the birth has been provided. The death is that the day the transition of the karmas are taking place, we call it as a death, that going into a different dimensions of the physical body, different dimension of the consciousness, not the physical body. Going into a different dimension, we call it as death, but there is nothing called birth and death. It's a continuous process. Process which is visible to physical eyes and which is not visible to physical eyes, that's all. There are so many things which we are not able to see in this physical world or in the astral world. Doesn't mean they are not existing. Similarly, the birth and death is also like that. It's a process in different dimensions, that's all. So when you are in the physical body, the grief of the mind and the sorrow of the individual is not brought about by our circumstances. This is a very important lesson we learn from the Upanishads. We do not suffer by incidents that take place outside us. The suffering or the happiness is all inherent in you. The day you are born and the way you are born, that's also based on the way you have released the physical body and went into different dimension. The same way when the day you are born, you have also accumulated these characteristics is how your basic grief and sorrow and happiness of the individual takes place. We suffer on an account of a maladjustment of our personality with conditions of life. And the knowledge of the fact is supernatural and supersensual. What has happened to us cannot be known by us. What happens to others cannot be known by us because we do not know what's happening to us and what has happened to us. Upanishads, the great secret of the Shastras, of the great secret of the great principles of the Brahmajnanam, Brahma Tattva, is a transmission or transformation or a transmission or transaction, we can call it, or imparting the knowledge from a soul to the soul, is why they are known as the secret. It is not taught, it is not understood, it is not learned. It's an information passed on from soul to soul level. To understand these principles of the life, the existence, the being, one has to, with lots of dedication and devotion, get involved into the being of the Upanishadic lessons, the Vedic science, from the Guru, that which transforms the understanding of the consciousness, that which makes the differentiation the consciousness makes of existence and non-existence, and ultimately reaches to a level of one's status. We only can practice through dedication, devotion, meditation, and complete samarpana bhava to the Guru, who is an embodiment of the knowledge, who has retained his body with certain practices for the purpose of execution of transmission of this knowledge to others or imparting the knowledge to others. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, being a great saint, in order to retain his body, he found out an attraction and a desire towards the food. He relished eating, kept on asking for food. Even in this midst of the serious discussions with the disciples or others, he would go once in a while to the kitchen to find out what is being cooked and would ask to serve the food and taste it. It's not because that he has got a desire or attachment towards the food. Saints and great men, they wanted to retain the physical body in order to transmit, in order to impart the great knowledge to the others through this physical body's existence, which only can be understood by the ones who has got the physical body and the mind. Found out these small inducted in habits and characteristics to retain his body. Lord Krishna has retained his body through the flute and the music. Like that, you will find many of the great saints, for the purpose of retaining the body, they have adopted certain practices which may be understood or misunderstood by the others, that why such a saint should have such characteristics. It's only meant for retention of their body, because the retentions of their bodies are necessary for the purpose of the imparting of this great secret of knowledge. The disciples who really understand, they should dedicate, so that at a point of time they become transformed into that higher consciousness where they can get the mukti or moksha, or the truth and the reality of the life. Too much of consciousness of the physical body, too much of consciousness of the physical knowledge, and too much of attachment and attractions, they all can be adjusted from the present stage of maladjustments by the knowledge that has been transmitted by the Guru. And the one who really is interested in order to get the true liberation of life has to follow these principles. May God bless everyone with this truth in the consciousness of everyone, and may lead them towards the right path at the right time. Om Shanti Shambho Mahadev.